Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a mum vlog. That was terrible, I'm sorry. I'm doing the mum tag. I've seen a few other bloggers doing this and people doing it on Instagram, so I thought I would give it a go. I probably should have Emmy with me for this, holding her like right here, but she's asleep in the other room, so I don't have her. Normally, so it's about 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock? Yeah, it's 9 o'clock, and normally we get up about, she wakes up about 7, I give her morning feed, I go and have a shower, she kind of chills in our bedroom a little bit, just in a cot, and then we go downstairs, get her dressed, and then while I get dressed, she has her first nap of the day with the hairdryer going, which you might be able to hear in the background. But today, I came out of the shower and she was fast asleep again. I'd left her in the Moses basket on our bed, so it was okay because I could leave her there a bit longer. So I left her, went downstairs, sorted out some things, came back up, she was still asleep. So I carried her downstairs to our spare room where I get ready. She still stayed asleep, so I switched on the hairdryer, which is a nice white noise thing that keeps her asleep on a morning, and yeah, 40 minutes later and she's still asleep. Normally this is a half an hour nap on a morning, so apparently she's sleepy today. So yeah, like I said, mum tag. So I've literally just briefly read over the questions and I've not really watched that many other people. I've seen a lot of other people doing it, but I haven't watched that many other people doing this, so these are just going to be completely off the top of my head answers, so I'm sorry if they're completely awful. So let's dive in. Question number 1. What is your favourite mum hack? I think I'm probably going to have to say that my favourite mum hack is the hairdryer. The hairdryer is the thing that just sends Emmy to sleep every morning. She loves white noise, but the hairdryer is her like absolute #1 white noise thing. We use a couple of other little white noise machines as well, including the Alexa. She's right there, so I can't. Oh, yes, she is. She's right there, so I can't say it too loud. Question number 2. My most embarrassing mum moment. That was probably the time when I let go of the pushchair for approximately a quarter of a second just to stretch out my hand like that because my fingers had started to go. Yeah, back when I was breastfeeding her, in the early days, I was holding her with my one wrist sort of like this and it would go numb, so I let go of the pram to just sort of go like that and the pram rolled away from me. Luckily she wasn't in it. I had her strapped onto me in a carrier, so the pram just started to roll away towards a car that was parked on the side of the road, but yeah, still. I had to grab it very quickly. Luckily it didn't go far, I mean it was like this sort of far, but that second of like, oh my goodness, that could have been the baby in there and there were people around watching, yeah. So, question number 3, which part of the day do you love the most? I think mornings, because even though I'm not a morning person in the slightest, I hate mornings normally, Emmy is so happy on a morning. She just wakes up and I turn over and she's just like doing this massive smile at me, just eyes closed, like mouth open. She's just so happy. So yeah, I love mornings the most. Question number 4, which part of the day do you like the least? It's probably, unfortunately, about the time of day when her dad comes home from work, because she just goes from being happy to being all cranky baby. She needs to go down for a nap and she normally doesn't like to go down for a nap at that time of day, so that's normally about, it's probably just before he comes home from work, so about 5 o'clock-ish she starts getting cranky. Luckily she's been a bit better in the last week or so, so we've managed to have a few days when Ben comes home from work where she's been happy and she smiled at him, so that was nice. Question number 5, the worst thing that someone said to me when I was pregnant. I was really lucky, I didn't have that many people say anything bad to me, or anybody say anything bad to me that I can think of. The only thing that's sort of crossing my mind is people saying, oh, you're never going to sleep again, or your baby's going to cry all the time, she's going to scream all the time, she's going to be the worst thing in the world, and you'll never do anything your whole life again, which is totally untrue. Like, yes, babies scream, babies cry, babies don't sleep. Emmy has been really good so far. I mean, so I keep saying so far because she's only just approaching 10 weeks tomorrow, so I'm aware it could still change, and then we've got the 4-month leap that people call the sleep regression, so that's to come yet, but life has not been completely unbearable and unlivable at all. Question number 6, baby names you didn't agree on. this is a good one because we didn't agree on pretty much all of the baby names I suggested. We had Persephone, which Ben absolutely hated and I absolutely love. I love it because I did Classics and Ancient Greek at uni, Classics Latin Ancient Greek, and Persephone was the person that I did my dissertation on. And I just love it. I just love the name. I love that you can use Sephi as a nickname. I thought it was really cute. Ben, however, disagreed entirely. He also hated my other names that were, well, he didn't hate them, he just didn't particularly agree on names like, I had Ailsa, which was not Elsa, Ailsa, A-I-L-S-A, he didn't like that. He didn't like Gray as a middle name, because I had like Maisie Gray, I thought would be really nice, didn't like Gray. Oh, there were plenty he didn't like, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but yeah, we really, there were none that he had that I didn't agree on, but yeah, all the ones I had, no. Question number 7, do you co-sleep / bed share? We don't bed share. We have one of those next to me cots that pulls up the side of the bed, the side drops down, so essentially it's not one bed because it's only half the bed, but it's one of those, it's a next to me crib. There have been a couple of times where she's come into the bed on a morning and we've fallen back asleep with her in there, and I'm completely aware how dangerous this can be, but there are safe sleeping guidelines out there for bed sharing because bed sharing is the only option for some parents. So it's things like, again, this is one of those things where I'm like, don't listen to what I say, check out the actual guidelines, I'll put a link below. But it's things like keeping all duvets and pillows out of the way, not wearing any loose clothing that can go near the baby, making sure that you haven't drunk or smoked or anything before sharing bed with the baby, because these can increase the risk of sudden infant death syndrome. So yeah, we don't do that, but there have been a couple of occasions where she has come into bed and we've fallen asleep, so we've made sure to keep the bed safe on those times. Question number 8, something you bought but never used. To be honest, we've used a lot of stuff already. We've got a lot of clothes that don't fit yet, the sort of 6 to 9 month, 9 to 12 month, yeah, okay, I bought some 12 to 18 month already. We haven't used those yet. I would say the breast pumps that I bought while I was pregnant, I bought a Tommy Tippy one, which is just a single electric breast pump, and I bought a hand one, a manual one, and I haven't used either of those because when I came out of hospital I decided I needed, or well, Ben decided for me actually, a double breast pump and one that was comfortable because I was using it for every feed at that point. It ended up being fairly expensive, but it was so worth it for that first couple of weeks because I needed it all the time and it just made life so much easier. So yeah, the other ones I ended up not using at all, and I imagine will never use because I've got this one now, and I also just use my silicone breast pump. Question number 9, I'm going to run out of fingers soon. 3 hospital bag must-haves. 1, nappies. I mean, these are like essentials. You have to have them because otherwise you go into hospital and you don't have the stuff you need for a baby. Nappies, wipes, cotton wool. No, you don't need wipes. Don't take wipes. Nappies, cotton wool. They advise you using cotton wool to clean the baby, and that's all rather than wipes. And absolute essentials, big black knickers, because you need really comfortable knickers after you've given birth. That's a bit of a random one, but yeah, make sure you've got your big black knickers. Question number 10, are you a routine or go with the flow mum, and what does bedtime routine look like? At the moment, I'm a bit of both. We've been going with the flow in terms of Emmy's so small still, only coming up to 10 weeks now, that you can't really impose a routine on a newborn like that. But she's also gone with her own flow, got into a bit of a rhythm, rather than a routine, I'm going to say a bit of a rhythm. So we've ended up falling into a bit of a routine. On a bedtime at the moment, we've only been doing this for about 2 weeks now. We do, well, I'm following the Huckleberry Sleep app at the moment, so I started putting in her naps and her overnight sleeps about a week and a half ago, and that's now been giving us a sweet spot time that tells you when's the best time to put her down for a nap or put her down for bedtime, and it works ridiculously accurately. Like within 5 minutes of it saying, so it tells you a time, gives you a sweet spot, it tells you what sort of time she'd put them down, and within 5 minutes of that time Emmy starts yawning and she rubs at her eye. It's really cute, one eye, she just rubs that like this. So I know she's getting ready for sleep. And often, right as it hits that time, she'll just fall asleep no matter where she is. So like in baby massage class the other day, she just fell asleep on my knee because it was her nap time, and we found that sticking to these nap times has really, really worked. It's helped to keep her from being cranky, and it just helps the day flow a bit more easily. So anyway, so when the app tells us is a good bedtime for her, we start to prepare about half an hour before. We come upstairs, I get her undressed, she goes into the bath. She has a bath every night now. One night she has with soap and hair wash, another night she just has a bit of a splash around the warm water. Then get her into her pyjamas. I'll do a bit of massage first, so what we've learned from the class. So I'm just, at the moment we're doing chest and stomach because that's what we've learned so far, so we're going to keep working up to the full body massage. Get her into her pyjamas, and then at this point Ben's gone downstairs and he's, what we say, reset the living room. So he goes in, he tidies up in there, shuts the curtain, sets up the Moses basket, puts on the white noise, and prepares a little station for me for feeding with a muslin, my phone and a drink. So I come downstairs, we keep all the lights off at this point, walk through into the living room where it's all dark and the curtains are shut, and I feed Emmy, and then she generally falls asleep with that feed, pop her into the Moses basket, and then I creep out into the garden room where we watch TV. Hi pussycat! Hello, you come to be in the video. Anyway, so generally then she falls asleep, and that's about 7:30 at the moment normally. So we've got now the baby monitor watching her in the garden room. Eventually we're going to do this in the nursery or in our bedroom, but for now we're doing it in the living room because we're literally on the other side of the door there, so I can just jump back through if she needs me. Which she doesn't at all. She's been absolutely fine, but you know, just peace of mind. So then we have a bit of an evening to ourselves, go up to bed at about 9:30, where I check her nappy, and it's often dry at this time of night, strangely. And then I give her a dream feed. She's often a little bit awake for this, but she sort of stays half asleep. Pop her into a cot, and off she goes to sleep again. And that's how our nighttime routines go at the moment. Question number 11. Question number 11. There we go. What type of labour did you have? What type of labour did you have, and what type of pain relief did you choose? So I chose to go with hypnobirthing for my labour. I'll do a full video on this at some point, I think. So as a quick overview, my waters broke in the morning first, which apparently is unusual, so that's 5:30 in the morning. We had to pop into hospital for them to check that they'd broken, and yes, they had, so they sent me home with a message that said contractions hadn't started by the next morning if I wasn't into established labour, that I needed to come in for an induction, because that's how it works when your waters break early, or waters break first. So I came home. Luckily my contractions had actually started. They were very, very mild, but they continued throughout the day until about 5:30, 6 o'clock, when they started to get a bit stronger. So we phoned the hospital. They said stay at home as long as you choose to. You can come in whenever you want, because we told them we'd been working towards the 3-1-1 rule. Is that right? I've forgotten now, completely forgotten. 3 minutes apart, 1 minute long. Oh, that sort of thing. So yeah, in the daytime I'd had a bath, all the hypnobirthing stuff, I had the tracks going, nice music, all of that. 7:30 we went into hospital. I was checked in the hospital. They told me I was 3 centimetres, but they didn't want to send me home straight away. I'm just going to do this really quickly, I'm going into the whole thing now. 3 centimetres, didn't want to send me home straight away because it's half an hour back to our house at the very minimum, so they didn't want me having to travel home and come straight back in again. So they popped me into a side room and said, right, stay here, labour a little bit, and then we'll keep checking on you. Within the next 2 hours or so that was about 9:30 they put me into this room. By midnight I was asking them to check me again, and I was up to 6 centimetres. So they said, yeah, we can admit you to the labour ward. It's going to be 5 minutes while they just prepare a room for you, so we'll come and get you for that. So throughout I chose to have just paracetamol at the start, and I'd written down my birth preferences that I didn't want to be offered pain relief. I just wanted to choose pain relief for myself. I was offered the gas and air, and I did accept it at that point. I had one big sort of on it before I got into the wheelchair and they took me down to the labour ward. I chose to go in the wheelchair because I was like, I'm not sure if I can walk and I don't really want to have a contraction in the middle of the corridor. So they were pushing me down there, and at this point I was like, things are changing. So at the 6 centimetre point I'd gone a bit shaky and said to Ben, I think something's happening, I think I'm like going into transition or something now. So okay, apparently Han said, apparently I'd gone, I think I'd done the whole I can't do this thing. But yeah, just got over that, got pushed down the corridor in the wheelchair, went into the room that they prepared for me, which I noticed had the bath for water birds, so I was like, yes. For some reason I got out of the wheelchair and climbed straight onto the bed, which was something that I hadn't really wanted to do. I wanted an active labour. The bit up to this point had been really active. I'd been on the birth board, I'd been walking around, I'd been like kind of dancing, I guess. So I'd get really active up to this point, then I just climbed up on the bed. Anyway, I was there for like 5 seconds before I suddenly, first the midwife said, right, introduce yourself, hello, I'm blah blah. Right, I'm just gonna, she was like, I'm going to go over the corridor because there's a lady over there who's, I said I wasn't going to do this full story, I'm doing the full story. Anyway, there's a lady over there who is just about to give birth, and so I need to go over to her. So I was like, right, okay, cool. 5 seconds later I was like, I turned to Ben and I was like, get her back, she's coming now. Midwife was like, I'm literally still at the bottom of the bed. I thought she'd left the room already. She was literally still stood at the bottom of the bed just writing up some notes. So she was like, I'm here, it's fine, what's happening? And I was like, she's coming now, so I was like, it burns. So she checked me and realised that I'd gone from 6 centimetres to 10 centimetres in the literally 3 minutes. Right, sorry about that, I'm back again. The camera ran out of batteries and somebody woke up. I could hear just as it was running out of batteries, I heard a little snuffling and it went off and I was like, oh, she's awake. So I went in and got her dressed, got into this nice little outfit from Next. So this is little ladybird pinafore dress with a matching stripy thing. So she's going to join me for the rest of the video. So we were talking about when you were born. So we'd gone down the corridor. I had dilated from 6 centimetres to 10 centimetres in approximately 3 minutes. And I was like, she's on her way. So yeah, the midwife checked and was like, yeah, she's on her way, I'm not leaving now. So she buzzed another midwife to come in as well. What are you doing? So yeah, started the whole pushing thing. They were like, yep, if you're ready to push, go for it. So we did that. I was on the bed to start with, laying on my back, then I got up on all fours, I was draped over the back of the bed, I was squatting by the side of the bed, I was on my side, I did all sorts of positions, and this went on for apparently, she's trying to eat me. Okay, yeah, she's going to chew on my thumb. She might be 10 weeks, but she's teething, or not even 10 weeks yet, she's 9 weeks, 6 days, and apparently she's teething, so she likes to chew on my thumb. So I'll allow her to do that. So yes, that went on for nearly more than 4 hours. And they said she just keeps coming down and going back up. They got me to feel, we could feel her head was literally right there, but it turned out she was back to back. So all the time I'd had gas and air, just to like keep me tided over. Even if I'd have chosen at this point to have an epidural, I wouldn't have been able to because I'd got so far, like at 6 centimetres I think you can have one, but yeah, I was already in the pushing stage, so they wouldn't have been able to give me one even if I'd wanted one. So I then, so then they said, we're going to have to get the doctor in to have a look, is that alright? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. At which point they were like, yeah, she's definitely back to back, and we might need to use forceps to get her out. Oh, calm yourself, missus, calm. Chew my thumb right off, you will. All right. So yes, the doctor came in and this was the bit where it was not so fun. So up to this point it had all been absolutely fine. I'd been just kind of pushing away, been in my little zone. The doctor came in, it was like, where the midwives had all been like, can I check you, is it okay? And I'd been like, yes, or like, because that was what I was doing. That was my wonderful labour face, apparently. And the doctor just walked in and was like, I'm going to check you now, and literally stuck his hand straight in, and he was just, I describe it as rummaging around. He was doing this, feeling which way up her head was, So I literally screamed at him, stop, like, don't, stop, stop. At which point he sort of stopped and looked at me like, what's the issue? And like, at this point had felt enough to tell me that she was definitely back to back, and yes, we would need an assisted delivery, which they decided to do as ventouse, the suction cup. So Ben and I went through our options with them. This was the whole hypnobirthing coming into play here. We talked through the different choices that we had, and really this was the only option apart from allowing me to continue pushing while they were preparing for this. Obviously that didn't work, so they went in, they gave me a local anaesthetic injection and then gave me an episiotomy, which was about as fun as it sounds. Actually, it wasn't that bad. The injections were the worst part of it all. Like, the injections hurt, but nothing else hurt. Like, I mean, at the point that they give you the episiotomy, then the local anaesthetic's starting to work, so I felt it, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as the actual injection being put in. And the catheter that they put in just before the anaesthetic, that hurt a lot. And I think possibly because I've got bladder issues anyway. I've had an operation of my bladder before, so I think that's why it hurt more. But yeah, that hurt, the injections hurt, and I definitely shouted at the doctor, stop again. And this is the moment that I was really proud of. I turned to the doctor and I went, look, I know you've got to do what you've got to do, but could you please be more gentle about it? And I was like, that is so not me, because I'm not a confrontational person. I wouldn't like say that normally. So yeah, I'm really proud of myself for that. And Ben also stopped him at one point and said, look, you've come in here, we had like the right atmosphere and everything going, you've just like messed it all up. Could you please like calm down a bit? Just, it was going a bit crazy, wasn't he? Anyway, so they did the episiotomy, stuck the suction cup onto her head. Oh, this poor little head. Stuck it on. They said with the next push, it's going to be the biggest push you've ever done. And out she came head first, and they said, do you want to look, her head's here? And I was like, no, just get the rest of her out, come on. So then out the rest of her came, plopped onto my chest, and then they'd stitch me up while she was there. So we just kind of chilled a little bit, didn't we, while you wriggled around in my chest trying to find where the food was. Yes, that was my labour, and that was the pain relief I had. That was a long story, just to talk about the pain relief I had. I had paracetamol, gas and air for the short version. Question number 12. I can't do this as much now, I've got her here. Have you ever been mum-shamed? I don't think I have. I've breastfed in public and haven't had any issues with that. Oh, what's up? The only thing that I could say that I've had is people saying, although not strangers, people I know, telling me to put a hat on her, but I wouldn't say that's mum shaming. I'd just say that's a bit of advice to put a hat on. But she doesn't like hats, and hats are too big for her, so they fall off. We try, but they fall off, don't they? Question number 13. The biggest challenges you face since becoming a mum. For me so far, the biggest challenge has been the feeding, and it was that first 2 to 3 weeks we really struggled. So I was expressing during that time, and we were giving that to her in a bottle while trying to get breastfeeding working. Every single time she needed to be fed, I would try to breastfeed her first. I'd be sat here in this chair a lot of the time, and she just wasn't latching on. She was very sleepy. She would fall asleep. She would just kind of wriggle her head around but not open her mouth. Then eventually she would learn that she needed to open her mouth, and she would latch on, but then she wouldn't suck. And then there were the times where she would start sucking before she was even latched on. So we were all over the place, and it took a couple of weeks to really get the hang of it. Now, the biggest challenge is that she won't take a bottle. After 2 weeks of having a bottle, she now won't take a bottle, so we're now completely breastfeeding. So that's a new challenge, which we're going with now, but I'm thinking about trying her on a doidy cup, it's called, because apparently you can start those from about 3 to 4 months, so we're going to maybe give that a go. So number 14, what's the best bit of advice that you've been given and the biggest advice you would give to a new mum? I think it would be to go with your instincts, but also to listen to other people's advice, even though that's not a very good bit of advice. Just listen to other people's advice. Go with your instincts, but also listen to other people. there have been times when I've been like, I know that's not going to work for her, so I've gone with what I think works. And because you know your baby, you get to know them. At first you don't know them, it's a learning process, a massive learning curve, but you do get to know them and you'll know what works best for them. And also listening to other people, because if someone's been through it before, they know best what you're going through, especially recent mums. Mums from, like, not to say that my mum's advice is bad, but for example, my mum had me nearly 30 years ago now, and my sister only a couple of years after that. So the advice has changed massively since then. This was, in those days, it used to be babies sleeping on their sides all propped up with pillows and things, and I used to have a duvet and had cot bumpers and things like that, whereas nowadays, you know, it's nothing around them in the cot, they're supposed to be flat on their backs, things like that. The advice changes so often, so listen to recent mums and, yeah, be guided by your instincts. So the final bit is, who do I tag? I am going to tag people for this over on Instagram, so if you pop down below, I'll put the link below to our Instagram account. So Emily and I've got our own Instagram account, it's Amelia Jane and Me, at Amelia Jane and Me, yeah. And I will post this video, or at least on my stories on there, and I'll tag a couple of people over on there. They can answer it if they want to answer it. They don't have to answer it. They can answer it on Instagram if they want to, just in text form, because I know not everybody likes doing videos. So you're back on my thumb again, aren't you? Yep. So somebody's tummy is rumbling. I don't know if it's mine or hers. I think it was my tummy. Anyway, we're going to get on because she needs a feed. Could have been her tummy, but it was only been like an hour since her last feed, but you know, she's a greedy little thing, aren't you? So we're going to get on. We're going to do her feed. Where are you going? So we're going to get on, get her fed, and then we are off shopping. We're going fabric shopping today. Mummy wants to make some new clothes. So we're going to go fabric shopping, aren't we? Aren't we? Yes, we are. Right. Oh, your dress all cotted up. Oh. Oh, are you smiling? Can you do that smile for the camera? Come on. Show that pretty smile for the camera. Hey. Hey, me girl. Hey. He's seen the camera. He's seen it. Oh, what's that? Is it you on the camera? Hey, 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 hey. Hey, boo. Hey, boo. Oh, when there's a camera around, you can't look at anything else. Hey, boo. Hey, boo. Hi. No, we're not smiling. Okay, right, we're going to go fabric shopping. So let me know if you've enjoyed this video. I said I would do my labour story in another video, but now I think I've done it in this video, so never mind. And I will see you next time. Bye.